In Onshape, you can create parts in a part studio. I found another example for practice from one of the resources in my video called Free Drawings for Practice. This one comes from a book called Mechanical Drafting around 1917, and it's a nice simple part for beginners. It consists of a revolve, an extrude, and looks like a couple of draft features. So inside of Onshape, let's create a brand new document. I'll go to Create and Document, and then I will call this the Hub. Let's click on the Create Public Document button. And here I am in my Part Studio. Before I start creating any geometry, let me change my units. My default units are in millimeters, but this part should be in inches. Let's hit the check mark in order to change that. Now I will create my first sketch on the plane called right. This will be the letter I shape for the revolve. I will right mouse click and hold and choose new sketch. I always like to view normal to my sketch plane. And now we're going to create that letter I shape with a bunch of lines. Here is the line tool. Let's start out with a horizontal line and then a vertical line and go to the inside and then down a bit and then out to the end. And I can see that it is snapping into the end of the upper line. That's good. That's what I want. Oops, missed it. Left click, and then let's go down here distance, out to the side, and let me hover over that point just so that it can lock into it. And then left click, go to the inside a little, oops, inside a little, then up, and left click. And I like how it's sensing the other entities. So this is good. Let's hit the escape key to get out of line creation mode. And then to adjust the sketch, I'm going to put in some symmetry. Let's go to the symmetry constraint, and then I will pick the vertical plane in the middle. And let's make these two lines symmetric about it. And then do the same thing for the vertical line and these two upper lines. And that should be good. Now I need to create some different dimensions so that this isn't blue. But before I do that, I'm going to put in a construction line that's horizontal. That will be my axis of revolution. I'll also use it for some dimensioning. So let's go to construction mode and then create a line and let it lock into the origin. Then make it horizontal, and then hit the escape key to get out of line creation mode. Okay, taking a look at the drawing, let's see the first dimension that I'm going to create. Let's go to the dimension command. We'll pick the upper horizontal line, and then that construction line that I just created, and then move out to the side. And this needs to be a value of 5 1/8. So let's punch in 5.125, and the rest of the sketch shrinks down appropriately. The next one, we have the line here, and this diameter dimension should be 4.25. That's good for that one. And then let's see, we have this line here. Let me dimension this one. Let's go from here, oops, here to here. And this one is going to be a value of 1.5, 1.5. And then for the inner bore, that's 3/4 of an inch. So let's go from here to here. And again, let it give us the diameter dimension and 0.75. So that's good. And then for the width of the different entities, they look like they're going to be 1/4 inch. So let's go from here to here. And then that's going to be 0.25. And then this line, let's make this also 0.25. And everything is in black. They've got a couple of extra 1/4 inch dimensions in the sketch itself. One of them, I really have no idea what it is for. And because we have some equal lines and symmetry in there, that's why we didn't need one of the other different 1/4" dimensions. But anyhow, this sketch is good. Let's hit the check mark in order to get out of sketch mode. I'm going to rotate the model slightly. Now we can create our revolve. So I will go to the revolve command. And then for the faces that I want, I will click on the sketch. Then let's click in the little field for revolve axis in order to give it focus. Now I can click the axis that I want to revolve around. We are getting a full revolve, which is what we want, and we're getting solid material added to our part studio. So that's good, so I will hit the check mark. And so now we have our main geometry. So let's now create the little keyway that we have in the part. And so I'm going to sketch on the plane called front. I will click on it, then right mouse click and hold and choose new sketch. And then right mouse click, view normal to the sketch. And let's zoom in. I need to create a rectangle, and I can do a corner rectangle. And it's not snapping in here. That's okay. I can throw in a constraint later. Let's create a rectangle going from here to here and zoom in a little bit. Now I will go to the coincident constraint and make this snap into this. And let's put in symmetry once again. And for symmetric, I like to pick what I want to be symmetric about first. Then let's pick this, and it adjusts. Now we can throw in our different dimensions. Let's go to the dimension tool. And the width of this is going to be equal to 3/16. That's what, like 0.1875 or something. Let's just type in 3 divided by 16. So that's good. And then the height of this is going to be 3/32. I definitely don't know what that value is. 3 divided by 32. Hit the enter key. And there we have our value entered in. This is good. Let's hit the check mark in order to complete that sketch. Let's rotate the model and zoom out a little bit. Let me use the keyboard shortcut P to turn off the display of my planes. Now I'm ready to extrude a cut. Let's go to the extrude command, and then we will pick that face that we just sketched. I don't want to add material. I want to remove material. And for the depth, rather than a blind depth, I want it to go through all. And then let's add in a second end position. We'll change that one to through all as well. That looks good. Let's hit the check mark in order to complete the feature. So now we have that feature. And if you take a look at the sketch, the eye doesn't look like straight lines, it looks angled, but I couldn't see anything in the instructions about a default draft angle. And I assume that this is going to need draft. It's probably going to be cast. So I'm going to put in some draft on the vertical sides of the hub. So let's go to the draft command. And then we'll do our neutral plane draft. And for the neutral plane, I'll pick this surface. And for the entities to draft, I'll pick that surface and this surface. And let's see, let's try let me make it big so you can see 25 degrees. And that way we can tell it that, yes, this is indeed going in the right direction. And I'm going to choose a much smaller value, of course, and let's use 5 degrees just so that's big enough to see. That's more than I would probably use if I was casting the part, but sometimes it's okay to exaggerate. And now let's do the same thing on the other side. And there you can clearly see that we've got some draft on there. Let's go to the draft tool and pick our neutral plane. And for the entities to draft, pick the same surfaces on the other side. It's giving us 5 degrees. I will hit the check mark. And so there we have the draft on those surfaces. And so there we have it. That gives us our nice little hub tool with a total of 4 main features: revolve, extrude, and 2 different draft features. So give this one a shot for yourself and see how you like it.